Hi guys, now I believe that Pixar is our generation's Shakespeare. No, seriously, timeless stories that reach large audiences, involving complex plots and characters, tales about morals and conflict, about consequences and the darker side of human nature, whilst never avoiding often taboo issues such as death, loss and letting go. They have an underlying sense of humour and righteousness, and overall aura of hope that never feels forced or false, brought to life by the vibrant animated worlds these tales take place. Pixar are the masters of animation and modern storytelling, their films going beyond simple fun family films into powerful classic movies that are enjoyed universally. Monsters Inc. is a fine example of their craft. It is simply awesome. Now, the story about an alternative world of monsters needing human screams to power their city, entering the world through children's closets, is both highly original and beautifully intriguing. But it is the inhabitants of this world that really make the film, Mike and Sully. Their friendship is 100% believable. All their banter and conversations feel nothing more than a genuine pair of old friends. They're a unique double act, with Mike's worrying but witty personality contrasting Sully's relaxed and caring character, yet, ironically, being the far physically stronger and more intimidating monster. Now, main baddie Randall Boggs is more than intimidating. His selfishness and lack of consideration for others make him a powerful evil threat, and his ability to turn invisible increases his sense of slyness, making him all the more menacing. Now, the themes of the story are timeless, the main heroes having to balance the responsibility and expectation of their important work life with the more ethical issues of looking after a helpless and innocent human child that they name Boo. Their journey allows them to appreciate each other as they both learn to do the right thing, even if it involves rebelling against the majority. The idea about humans being deadly, to me, is reminiscent of general real-life discrimination and prejudice, that these beliefs come from ignorance and unacceptance, not simple facts and logic and caring for others. Every scene is full of clever jokes and one-liners, slapstick humour and great references to various other media. Monsters Inc. is nothing short of a great enjoyable film, making it my second favourite Pixar film, second only to the Toy Story series. Now, the flaws I have with this are not really problems as such, just that I want to see more scenes with the characters. And another issue is that the human world doesn't really feel real when they enter it. You know, unlike Toy Story and The Incredibles, where you can really imagine these characters living in a real place. But you could easily argue that this was just to make you engage with the monsters world even more. And you know what? Hey, it's escapism and entertainment. And with all the drama present, that surely can't be a legitimate negative comment. Now, I honestly cannot believe that this film was first released in 2001. Being over a decade old, it's as fresh and brilliant as ever. Easily as good as any animated or family film released today. Now, I choose to review this film in celebration of next year's prequel film, Monsters University. And being more than excited, I just hope that the next instalment will live up to its perfect predecessor. I'm giving Monsters Inc. a 9 out of 10, and thank you for listening, and more reviews on the way soon.
You hid your skeletons when I had shown you mine. You woke the devil that I thought you'd left behind. I saw the evidence, the crimson soaking through.
Away, I'm just a breath away, losing my faith today.
I'm falling off the edge today.
I am just a man.
Now, after the huge wave of extremely successful Marvel and DC superhero blockbusters over the last few years, I'm taking a look back at Ang Lee's 2003 film Hulk. Now, first of all, this movie is not what I expected. Generally dismissed and hated by fans alike, I was expecting nothing short of a generic dull action film that neither captures the spirit or awesomeness of the famous comic book character. I was very wrong. In truth, Hulk is partly a very dark psychological drama, exploring the deep emotions and struggles of Dr. Bruce Banner and his love interest Betty Ross, as he copes with both the physical and social problems of becoming the Green Giant, and more interestingly and unexpectedly, the mental issues of dealing with the broken relationship with his father, Dr. David Banner, and their murky past. Now, what becomes immediately obvious is that this is not the action-orientated fun Hulk that we would later see in the Avengers and various of the cartoon adaptations. No, this is the less popular, but nonetheless just as interesting, dark, serious Hulk. The film has an overall serious tone and is backed up by superb performances from all the main cast. In particular, Eric Bana, who's conveniently named, as Bruce, who conveys the character's struggles realistically, and he's never over the top or melodramatic. The editing is excellent and very unique, with each scene very originally, seamlessly merging into the next. That's something that impressed me. You should check it out. It's not really been done in the comic book films recently. It's quite original for that aspect. The choice of angles and lighting is also a notable strength, feeling very much like a comic book, with scenes jumping to necessary parts of the story which, for me, avoid any dullness or boredom that could have emerged in some of the dialogue-heavy scenes. Now, the villain of the piece, Dr. David Banner, Bruce's father, is creepy and interesting to begin with, but his actions and justifications get more and more abstract, until he just becomes the generic baddie I was hoping this film would avoid. Like I say, this is largely a psychological drama, and in certain scenes this works very well. The tension is constantly slowly building up, which makes me not mind that we only see the Hulk over 40 minutes in. It's constantly building up to a dark climax. And what do we get? We get the problem with this film. A generic, brightly coloured Hulk CGI battle. Why is this a problem? It just doesn't fit. The majority of this film is about a scientist's dark struggle with himself and his loved ones, confronting repressed childhood memories of violence and accepting that he is different to everyone else. We needed a clever character-based and emotional climax, not just action. The film has not been building up to action, it's been building up to solid drama and conflict. And we don't get that. This makes the Hulk feel like two interpretations of the character thrown together. The more adult, dark, dramatic, realistic side, and the more youth-based, action, enjoyable side. Both an obvious flaw and a shame, as both versions would have made two great films. The action and CGI scenes are great. Hulk's skin texture is very realistic, and against the sunlight looks genuinely real. Hulk is a mishmash. Kids will be waiting for the action scenes and bored for the rest. Adults will be intrigued by the story and performances, but ultimately disappointed by the action-focused climax. Now, some great scenes, but overall, this is a muddle of a film that can't gauge its tone or audience, and it's a missed opportunity that no Stan Lee cameo can make up for. While this is probably the best interpretation of the character that we've seen so far at that point, I just don't think it really works, and I just think overall it's a missed opportunity with some great ideas, but it just, as a whole, it just isn't, it's not that solid, and I'm only giving it a 6.5. Okay, thanks for listening, and there are more reviews on the way soon.
I guess a round table weren't equal enough. You can't contain me with chains, I'm free and I run free. Any enemy is coming with me when I'm done. Whatever's asked of me, I perform. I rip through the rain to the eye of the storm. Still carrying the flame, I have the torch. Failure comes at a
Hi guys, and welcome to my Ghost Rider review. So the first half an hour of this film are promising. Not great, but promising. It is about Daredevil stuntman Johnny Blaze, who longs to leave his carny career behind and move away with his love interest, Roxanne Simpson. However, Johnny soon finds out that his father's increasing poor health is a terminal cancer and feels obliged to stay behind and look after him. Increasingly lost and desperate, Johnny is met by Mephistopheles, essentially or some form of, the devil, who bargains that he will cure his father's cancer in return for forever owning Johnny's soul. After agreeing and believing that things will get better, Mephisto brutally kills Johnny's father during one of his stunts, leaving the young man alone and forever in his grasp. Now, Devil Mephisto is superbly played by classic biker film and Easy Rider star Peter Fonda, and does an excellent job as a smooth-talking conman, constantly manipulating others to his own selfish benefit. While coming across very cliché at times, it is great that famous respected star like Fonda can bring these comic characters to life, giving an overall very enjoyable performance. And young Johnny is played by Matt Long, and although it's nothing special, still does a decent and realistic job of playing the naive and innocent John. Then things take a turn for the worse. We cut to some time later and the film's pacing, structure and tone completely falls apart. Now Johnny Blaze, now older, is played by Nicolas Cage, and despite claiming to be a hardcore fan of the Ghost Rider comics, Cage portrays Johnny as a bumbling, dumb, often clumsy Texan who seems to feel no emotions or grasp the seriousness or darkness of the mess he is in. Now, Marvel Comics' self-destructive, smoking bad boy Blaze is completely non-apparent, and alcohol and cigarettes are replaced with jelly beans. Claiming that having the devil after you would make you avoid such simple activities, according to actor Cage, that I can understand, but it would surely make you aggressive, make you lost and empty, having such an ellipsing curse looming over your whole life. Well, clearly Nicolas Cage didn't think that. And all plot lines from this point become ridiculous and feel like a very bad superhero story is being forced together. The main issue I have is that no one in this film has a true motivation. Johnny has a strong career and money, so what is he looking for? He suddenly falls back in love with Roxanne, despite her being a bitch to him. Why hasn't he met other girls in the years they spent apart? Doesn't it bother him that having friendships may put their life in danger? Roxanne has a great respected career as a news anchor. She's independent, strong, and happy. So why is she drawn back to Johnny all of a sudden? Why haven't they bothered to contact each other before? The chemistry is plain unforced. They do not seem a realistic couple, to the point where, if anything, them being together even seems like a negative decision for both their characters. Blackheart, Mephisto's son, randomly appears, looking suspiciously like Edward from Twilight. An extremely silly and dull villain with no motive except to rule the world for basically the sake of being evil. He betrays his father, and Mephisto turns Blaze into the Ghost Rider to stop his powerful son. Despite honestly awesome special effects and CGI work bringing the rider to life, looking very dark and close to the comic's original design, it is just impossible to be engaged or blown away by it, because you just don't care by this point. The Ghost Rider appears over 45 minutes into the film, and by then, all hope is lost. No time is spent in explaining how this form works, or how much control Johnny has of it. In his first scene, the rider out of nowhere quotes very dark and gothic phrases when saving a civilian being robbed. Now, this is completely out of character for Johnny. It comes out of nowhere and is never explained. You don't care about the characters or story because everything is so badly placed together. After this point, even more characters are thrown in. Some scenes are bizarrely toned to be like a biker film, a western cowboy film, and sometimes even trying for gothic horror. Now, Ghost Rider is one mess of a film. It's poor acting from the title character, bad writing and plot lines, terrible and inconsistent overall tone and pacing make this movie worthy of all the negative feedback it received. Great CG work and a couple of nice guest stars only soften the blow slightly. Ghost Rider is complete utter shit, and a Marvel interpretation only adapted to make money. I'm giving Ghost Rider a 3 out of 10, and thanks for listening, and more reviews on the way soon.